first thing I would do is make sure that your newsletter is all set up and all your content is ready to go. Make sure your promo codes are in place for the holiday season. 2 is when that customer makes that purchase, make sure you're slipping something in the box that when they unbox it, it actually enables them to come back to your site and empowers them to return as a win-back campaign. And 3, I would say also make sure remarketing is turned on. So if you're using Google AdWords today, make sure you're doing display ads through Google that remarkets your customer if they don't purchase, so they can come back to your site and buy from you.
You know, holiday is different. It's a different time of year, and you got to really communicate the urgency in your messages online. So there has to be a reason why someone needs to buy right now. So one thing I keep thinking about is urgency. Number 1 is, why is someone buying now versus buying 2 weeks from now? Is it scarcity element? Are you losing, there's not going to be any product left? Like, communicating urgency, number 1. Number 2 is you want to connect your supply chain with your marketing. I think that's very, very important, is because you want to know which products you have a lot of and really understand which products you should be marketing.
For us, we're all about selling multi-channel. So selling on Walmart, on Amazon, on Jet, and your own shopping cart, and every other channel that's out there, because you want to be everywhere. So the big one is people are overselling like crazy. So they don't anticipate demand, they don't plan enough, they don't do enough forecasting to actually anticipate selling out. And once you sell out, it creates a negative experience, but you lose out on that profit. So that's a huge one for us. The other one, as we're talking about social media marketing, is I look at a lot of my competitors and they still don't understand the game of social media, how to advertise. And so, for example, let's take Crucial Vacuum, which is my e-commerce business. People on Facebook don't really want to go into the elevator and look at their phone and see a dirty vacuum filter show up. Oh, you want to replace your vacuum filter. No one gives a hoot about vacuum filters on Facebook. However, they really care about vacuum filters on Twitter. People say, hey, our vacuum sucks. But then we started making coffee filters. So people love coffee filters on Pinterest. And then the idea of just putting promo codes on Facebook is just not the way to win in this environment in 2016 or 2017. So I think understanding what's the best social media platform for you and what's appropriate is one of the ways that you're going to win in the holiday season. How many people here have actually bought from their competitor? Okay, good amount of people. So I think that's a strategy that a lot of people don't actually typically employ, especially during the holiday season, because your competitor could actually be changing their strategy right now. So I suggest everyone actually test purchase their competitor's product. See how it's delivered to your doorstep, see the email marketing that comes with it, sign up for their newsletter, learn from them, or even learn from someone that's in a separate space from you in a different vertical that's just killing it and doing it really, really well. I think that's one thing that's completely overlooked. The second thing I think is really key for me, I look at e-commerce like playing Monopoly. You want to be on every piece of the board to win. So you want to be on every shopping cart, every marketplace, in my opinion. But you also want to make sure that your product is taking up the most space. So how do we do that? How do we make sure we take up a lot more space? For me, I like to do a lot of kitting and bundling. So I can take a vacuum filter and kit it with a belt and kit it with a hose to increase the average order value of my sale. But on top of that, sometimes a 2-pack will show up on Google AdWords on PLA versus a 1-pack or versus a 4-pack. So it really depends based on the algorithm and based on my CPC strategy. So I think kitting and bundling is super, super important, increasing the average order value, and also helps you take up more space and gives your customer more ideas on what they should be buying instead of them having to think about, okay, maybe I should buy this, or maybe I should buy this, or maybe I should buy both. Just literally don't even give them a choice. It's either Coke or Pepsi. There's no RC Cola.
If you make it easy enough to check out on mobile, then absolutely that will be done. Because if we think about when they're making the decision, right? Is it on the train when they're browsing in mobile and then they go purchase at home? Or did they make that decision when they got on the computer and then said this was the product that I'm going to choose, right? I would argue that's happening at the end of that browsing phase. And we could potentially say in between those 2 sessions is when that decision is made. So how do we make it as easy as possible for them to purchase while they're, on the train or in an Uber for their 15-minute commute?
Interestingly enough, we're just about to hit our mobile moment, which is 50% of purchases are happening via the mobile phone. 2 weeks ago, we actually decided to turn off our mobile ads on Google because we saw there wasn't a lot of conversions. Then we saw suddenly our desktop conversions also tanked. And so we realized there was a correlation that people were actually browsing and checking out our site on mobile and then going back to a computer and actually making the purchase there. So it's just, I think that's a very interesting connection. On the video piece that we've been discussing, YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the United States, and I think in the world. So for us, we love having a YouTube video channel and getting subscribers. And we do a lot of fun things. We use keyword planner tool, and we do a lot of keyword density and ranking tests within YouTube to drive more traffic to our YouTube site because it's free traffic that ranks really, really well, Google organic.